Hello and welcome to Eyewitness Report on Channels Television. I'm Chris Elems. This edition of the program reflects on the tourism potential exposed by the thriving trade by barter economy of Makun Omi, a waterside community in Ogun State. Residents of Abaranje community in Igondo area of Lagos State could heave a huge sigh of relief from the troubles of flood as the state government begins the dredging and expansion of Potoku Canal. I'll be back with details of these and more in a moment. The successful story of trade by barter gives much more to think about on how a rural economy could still thrive in a world where innovation, e-commerce is outplaying banknotes as the medium of exchange. Let's return to Makun Omi, a waterside community in Ogun State.
Makun Omi is approximately 177 kilometers away from Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. The agrarian community in Ogun Waterside local government area is the last of the Ijebu towns, bordered by Ekpe in Lagos to the west, Ijo-Arugbo and Atijere, the largest speaking part of Ondo State, to the south. Due to this proximity to water, the people of Makun Omi engage in logging, fishing and other trading activities. Makun Omi offers a warmth and welcoming atmosphere, typical of what we met when we last visited. The way of life of the people here remains intact. Not much has changed about Makun Omi as regards infrastructure development, although the community is now connected to the national grid and parts of the road tarred.
When you came 2 years ago, there was no public power supply here. Now we have, and in addition to that, we have purchased 67 solar-powered street lights for the community. I mean, everywhere is at least well lit now. We have also graded the township roads on our own.
It also has a new palace and a king, the Osobia of Makun Omi. This is a big plus to the development of the community, as one of the leaders, Chief Tayajai, recounts.
We are lucky to have had a father, a royal father, His Royal Highness, the Osobia of Makun Omi, who is leading the crusade in this community. He is doing wonderfully well. And since his coronation, he has highlighted so many things, and he has been an icon, not just to our community here, but to the entire local government. What we have done within the 2 years, we are going very, very fine. That's the way I will put it. Because there is a steady progress committed to by indigenes of this local government under the leadership of the traditional ruler. So we under the traditional ruler, we were able to formulate or form a group called Makun Omi Transitional Group. That is to lift us from our slumber, from our sleep of the past, now to where we are today. It's a fantastic step towards taking us from this rural environment and bringing us to what is happening in other communities.
Despite these developments, Chief Ajayi, who is also a former council chairman, decries the absence of state government in the area.
I feel sorry to say that the government, the presence of government, is not anywhere in this community. Nothing. Even in the entire local government. Nothing. Not even water. the least thing that government can provide is to talk about water. It's not available here. No road construction, nothing. The only one we have now is being done by the federal member of the House of Representatives who comes from this constituency. Outside that, nothing. So we're appealing to the government, both at the state and federal level, to come and assist.
Another concern is the persisting menace presented by water hyacinth.
This issue of water hyacinth could have been addressed when it started developing. General Abaranje was president at that time, and we appealed to him. He sent some harvesters to Lagos State, sent some to Ondo State, and left Ogun. I personally went to Abuja to meet him that time, but the Baba cannot do everything. So what he did was to arrange for us to excavate some of those ones that are disturbing us in our immediate environment, which we did. This water hyacinth is something that even the federal government cannot tackle. They are not very serious about it because it is all over the world. Now in our own area here, the thing starts from Lagos State, that is as from Ekpa area, down through our own area here and down to Ondo State and to Edo State and Delta. On a given day, the entire area will be covered. You can stay inside the water hyacinth for 5 days, 6 days. You will not be able to get out. You will be screaming and shouting. People will be saying you, but you cannot move until the thing recedes and goes away. And it is seasonal. When it comes, because of the tidal waves, the whole area is blocked. And that is still the situation now. It's not being addressed by any government.
The center of attraction is the Ajebo market, which hosts traders and buyers from far and wide who transact in businesses both in cash and by barter. Market activities start from the early hours of the day and last into the night.
When you get fish, ritual gari day, even you don't have any money, come meet me, say, okay, I want to collect eja gari, eja ogede. So they will give you ogede. Then you collect fish. You collect gari, you give me fish. Even if you get bitter leaf, ewuro, you can collect fish. If you get cocoyam, if you get orange, they can mango. Because all these larger people, they like all those things. They can give you fish, collect mango, collect orange, collect pineapple, say anything.
I can say now that in the old Ogun State, we are the only one that is doing the trade by barter. When I become the Oba, I realized that my people were really happy with the trade by barter and they are making it. And my vision is that by God's grace, before next year, the trade by barter will be bigger than what we are seeing now, inshallah. And that's my prayer, and that's what I'm working for.
There's not been any change effected yet since 2019. Some of the features are already wearing off, including the roof, though it's no distraction to the traders.
I have a plan for the market. My plan is that, number one, I want to wall it round and make it a modern market. But the trade by barter will still be going because we are really enjoying it. You know, we don't have money here, but when you have gari, we give you fish. You have banana, we give you something else. We are happy about that, and God is really helping us with that. But by God's grace, I know it will still come better than what we are seeing now.
In addition to the contribution communally made to grow Makun Omi, the people have hatched a 5-year developmental plan to make their community the signage of all eyes.
We have gathered our sons and daughters within and outside the country, the best of brains, and we have plenty of them, and mapped out a 5-year strategic development plan for every sector: health, education, infrastructure, tourism, most importantly. Because we also visited the Commissioner for Culture and Tourism in Abeokuta, and during the visit, that's led by my traditional ruler, the Oshobi of Makun Omi, Oba Kazim Adeshino Salami. He led that the delegation. I was privileged to be there too. And the target for the state government is to make Makun Omi the hub of tourism in Ogun State, and we are working assiduously towards achieving that goal.
Though the state government has visited to verify claims of the practice of trade by barter within its borders, not much has been done for the people and the tourism potential of Makun Omi. The Commissioner for Culture and Tourism says the state is open to collaboration from organizations or individuals interested in promoting the people of Makun Omi and their cultural practices.
That is an untapped potential. Any private organizations, anybody that have interest in trying to make it a befitting market, a world class, in order to be able to scale up their practice to a world class standard, the door is open. We are stretching forth our hand of partnership as a government, that if you have interest in trying to partner with us, then come around, bring your proposal. Let's enter into an MOU, an agreement, so that together we can also make it, a befitting place for every one of us as a community, particularly the indigenous of Ogun State that are all over the world, in the diaspora, in the country, that have interest in building their community. They should come around. The government is ready to partner with anyone. We have our 5 pillars, the agenda, the Shaya 5 pillars. So it's part of it. Infrastructural development is part of one of the 5 agendas of this administration.
Despite the challenges faced by the community, culture has continued to play a significant role in strengthening their bond of unity through the Okosi or boat regatta, which is one of their practices. It's the celebration of the feats of their forebears, who were great hunters and warriors. The men lead the charge by mounting a replica of a war boat, accompanied by heavy percussion, drumming and dancing.
This year's boat regatta has attracted people from all over. We have improved on it. We have modernized it without touching on certain cultural aspects. It's a great improvement, and the turnout has been fantastic. We can boast of more than 4,000 people coming from far and near to watch the famous Okoshi festival. And please take note, Okoshi, which is a boat regatta, started from this town, from Makun Omi, from here, that they took it to Ekpe and some other communities. In the next 3, 4, 5 years, you'll see another Makun. But for now, we thank God Almighty, and we thank, on behalf of my traditional ruler and the people of Makun Omi, Canal TV, for that wonderful focus or documentary you did on Makun. It has really attracted attention, positive one, to this community, and we are not resting on our oars. We want to build on it so that in the next 2 years, you come to this committee, you see a small London in Makun Omi.
Makun Omi will continue to attract attention as long as this trade by barter lasts in the community. It will, however, leave a negative impression on visitors if the dearth of infrastructure remains and the Ajabo markets left in the state of disrepair.
Welcome back. Perennial flooding, which has been a menace in Abaranje community in Ikotun, Igondo Local Council Development Area of Lagos State, may soon be a thing of the past as the state government commences the dredging and expansion of Potoku Canal, a major water outlet that runs through several communities.
An eyewitness video of a flood taken shortly after a brief downpour speaks more of the large amount of water that overflows the streets whenever it rains in Abaranje, a suburban wetland community in Ikotun Igodo Local Council Development Area of Lagos State. The aftermath of heavy downpour results to an overflow that runs into homes and other properties. Water marks on the walls show that houses without high or solid foundations are mostly affected.
This year now, just the first minor rains that fell, almost every community around here were on the run. So we were afraid that if by the time the full rainy season will come on, almost nobody will be living around here.
Wall fortifications and wooden bridges linked to houses are some of the steps taken by residents to stay safe from perennial flooding during the rainy season. These efforts last shortly because the section of Potoku Canal which runs through the community is narrow and shallow, unable to convey the large volume of rainwater from secondary channels from other areas.
We really need a permanent solution that will help us a lot. That is by, first and foremost, expanding the canal and deepening it, and most importantly, slabbing it.
The blockade is further worsened by water hyacinth on a path and waste washed from other parts of the state. After years of cry from residents of the area, dredging equipment is now deployed to the canal. This is the intervention residents have longed for years, to ease the pain and discomfort brought about by flooding whenever it rains, and they can't hide their joy. Even with the ongoing clearing of the canal, the wooden shanty is sited close to its path. It's a church building. The owner of the structure claimed to have observed the required setback, not minding its exposure to flood and dangerous animals.
Where do I go? I'm being called by God, and this is house of God. I don't have any other place. If I should leave my church and go to another place, then what will I tell God? So I cannot leave the place for the water. So I will keep on praying. I'll just keep on praying that God one day will visit this area, and which He has done. So we appreciate God, and we appreciate our governor also. When we got to this place, when we were buying the land, they gave us the specimens of this place, the survey plan of the place, and they measured my land that I should live at least 35 feet to the canal, which was I did.
The excavator is not only clearing the water channel, it's also expanding it from what used to be 15 meters to as wide as 30 meters.
Since they have been packing this canal like this, it's not wide. It's not as wide as like this, as they package. At least it will be tackled temporarily. But we are still begging our governor that maybe very near or maybe in future, they will come here to come and help us put all these slabs. If they put the slabs, I think slabs will be the permanent measure for the work. If they can be able to put all the plank so that the water will be flowing.
However, residents claim that the dredging of the canal has reportedly suffered intermittent breaks since it commenced in the early days of August, and they fear the project may be abandoned as the rains intensify.
For some years that we've been here, this place, if they come to park it, let's say 3-4 years ago, they'll just park the top of the canal and go. Then by 63 years now, they've not parked this place at all. You can even walk on top of the canal. And the work they are doing now is a very great job. But we want to plead with the people concerned to help us as they've started it to finish it. Because we can sense some delays, you understand, in the job. There are times, 2 weeks, you will see the tractor just parked. We'll be asking questions. Nobody to give us answer to what is going on.
This fear is, however, allayed by the Special Advisor to the Lagos State Governor on Drainage Services, Mr. Joe Ibukwe.
When you are given a job, you are paid 40% or 60% of the entire worth of the project. You know, when you get halfway, or probably to three-quarter, if you get 60%, they come back and take the balance and finish up the job. So perhaps the money finished because of high cost of materials. They are unpredictable now. Can go up. Prices of things are going up. We don't know why. So it's affecting them. So probably they stopped and waited for their second payment and got it and went back to site. We went there. Because somebody around there told me that they went downstream. Because sometimes if you are constructing, if you are doing construction or dredging, sometimes if you dredge and it's not moving, you have to go and locate where it's being blocked and you deal with it, and then it will continue to flow. So they're working. So if you don't see them on site, maybe it's something. But people are always apprehensive. If they can't find them, you cannot see their bulldozer. They say these people abandoned the job. Oh, no, you can't. We'll give you money, it will follow you. In some systems, in some canals, when you go to work today, tomorrow, if it rains, if you go there, you won't believe that something has been done there because of our attitude on issues of waste disposal. People still go to dump something in the canal.
Residents are also mindful about the scope of the dredging, its durability and sustainability.
The problem we used to have on this canal is that they have been doing it several times, but when it gets to that canal, Badore Bridge, there is another big water that is called Owo River that the water is discharging into. So at that point, there is a stone that is blocking the water from flowing. So it's only dropped little by little. So at that point, once it rains and the water is coming with full force, so the stones will push the water back. The water will not be able to discharge into the main river.
The 8-kilometer Potoku Canal is one of the longest in Lagos State and serves as a primary collector from communities in Ikotu-Igodo in Alimosho, Amuwo Odofin and Ojo local government areas of the state. The intervention is expected to stem the destruction of lives and property occasioned by flooding.
That's how we wrap up this week's edition of the program. See you again next week. I am Chris Elamps.